Welcome to the Unapologetic MidLife Podcast. I am your host, Mindi Lobuzzetta, and I am here today with Liz Rivera, who has joined us to share her journey with her business. Welcome, Liz.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. So I know we were introduced through a mutual friend,
Yes.
and it was like, oh, I already follow her page.
Were you really? Oh, I
I'm
didn't know
pretty
that.
sure you were
Okay.
on, because I think I follow you on Facebook, I think it was.
Okay.
And I had seen you, and I love what you're doing. So let's
Thank
just
you.
dive in. You're welcome, and share what exactly is your business, and then we'll get into your journey of what led you to doing what you do.
Okay. Well, I have a YouTube channel. Initially, I started out as just a YouTube channel, and
Okay.
I have a background in broadcast journalism from way back in the 90s. That was
Okay.
what I went to undergrad for right out of high school.
Okay.
I did an internship. We dabbled in the on camera stuff, and it was always my favorite, something I always wanted to do.
Yeah.
And I was also a lover of YouTube. So I would watch videos anytime I needed to figure out something. I'd search it on YouTube and watch the video.
Hmm.
And then I also, at the time, this was like, I want to say maybe 2018, 2019,
Okay.
of vloggers were trending back then. So you just
Okay.
followed their lives. And I would always be like, I think I could do that. I think I could do that. So anyway, one day during COVID, of course, because we all had extra time, right? I just turned the camera on. And of all things, this is really funny. So now, fast forward just for a moment, I do attend YouTube events at Google headquarters in Los
Oh,
Angeles.
wow. Awesome.
Yeah. And so you meet other creators and we discuss how we started. And I always break the ice with, well, my first video was, first of all, in vertical because everything on YouTube is horizontal.
Yes.
Someone films with their phone in vertical, it really stands out. You're not supposed to,
Okay.
long form video.
Okay.
My phone was vertical and I made cabbage soup. And that just like brings the house down, of course. So at the time, I knew I wanted to be on camera, but I wasn't even sure what I was going to do.
Or how to do it, right? Clearly there's
Oh, none of it.
techniques.
Yeah. I literally figured it all out as I went along.
Yeah.
So what was the first question?
That's okay. What your business is.
Okay, so now my channel has evolved into affordable fashion. And obviously, I'm 54 years old. So it's for
You
women
look
typically over
amazing.
50. Thank you.
You're welcome.
For women over 50. But when I started my channel, before I monetized and really made it into a business, I was almost 49. So 48, 49 at the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I feel like just like I'm not the best with like fashion. I mean, I think I can manage simple things, but like some people just like pull it together.
Yeah.
Like I love that you're also affordable, right? Because
Yeah.
I don't think fashion has to be, don't get me wrong, we all like our high-end things, but
Yes.
you can have amazing looks for less.
For
It doesn't
sure.
have to be $1 million.
Yeah. I mean, I grew up what I like to refer to as low income.
Okay. Yep. Same.
And
Same.
as a kid, I always wanted more than I had. I really had not a whole lot to work with. I
Yeah.
remember being so excited when TJ Maxx came to Buffalo
Oh my
because,
gosh. Yeah.
think back to like mid to late 80s, Esprit was like
Hmm. Oh
super
yeah.
expensive.
Oh yeah.
And they had a few Esprit pieces, and I would, beg to get at least like one
The
sweatshirt that
bag,
had the
the
name.
bags. I know we had the bags in school.
Yes, the
Yep.
bags too. Yeah, all of that stuff. So for that reason, I've always been someone who shops affordably for clothing, even after I didn't have to.
Hmm.
And I do, don't get me wrong, just like you said, throw in a couple luxury pieces
Yeah.
and then along with the affordable stuff as well. So I show a
Yeah.
lot of Amazon, Target, tons of Walmart.
Yep.
Surprisingly, they've really turned a
They have
corner in
some
fashion.
really they have some really cute things. I
Yeah.
have like the Spanx like knockoff jogger set.
The
Like I went and
Okay.
bought a couple of those. They were like
Yeah.
$18 a piece. It was fabulous.
I know they do. They have a lot of really nice things. There's a video on my channel. It was called literally the 2 words. It just said look rich. And then I put the little Walmart logo on there and it was
Hmm.
one of my best videos
Oh,
because I showed, sort of like high end looking pieces, which
yep.
they do have.
Yep.
And then just the way you pair it and style it is really how it comes out, just looking a bit more high end than it is.
Yeah. And I'm sure there's tips and tricks on how to style it and how to add things to make it look higher end, right? Because
Yeah.
sometimes we want to, as a mom, I'm in leggings and a t-shirt or a sweatshirt. I mean, I work from home. But when I step out and I go someplace, I want to look nice and feel nice. But
For sure.
We don't also want to wear the same thing every time we leave. So how do you make your look more high end? Like, what are some tips or tricks?
Some of the tips and tricks, well, number one, fit. You have to find what suits your body type.
Yeah,
I'm constantly telling everyone, by the way, I love to self deprecate. So that's probably going to come out in this
we all
interview.
have our things.
But I'm constantly telling people, I do have a short torso. I'm five
Same. I
four and
do
a
too.
half,
Okay.
but I have longer legs for my
Yep.
height.
Yep.
So you do have to find what works for you. And one of the jokes on my channel is how much I love tube tops. Well, I love a tube top because they're this big and they cover my entire torso.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
pair them with wide leg pants and everything looks
It's
great.
adorable. Yeah.
So finding what works for you is one of the tips. And then I always tell everyone to choose neutral colors.
Hmm.
Don't get anything a little too crazy. It's going to look affordable. You have to
Hmm.
choose neutral colors, things that fit you well. And I
Hmm.
always say to look for the details. A lot of
Yeah.
times you'll find blouses with fabric covered buttons. That looks high end,
Yeah.
but it's $14. So if
Yeah.
you pick and choose within the affordable fashion, you'll find something to make it look high end.
Yeah. And do you do accessories? Because I feel like you do it all.
I
This
do.
isn't
Yeah,
just
I show
clothing.
jewelry, shoes, handbags, all of that stuff. And you can even find some cute handbags, believe it or not, at Walmart and Target, and definitely for sure Amazon. They have a lot of
Yeah.
designer dupes. I show dupes as well on my channel,
Oh, okay. Okay.
which is fun. Yeah,
Yeah, I think there's something for everybody, right? So
for
showing
sure.
the broad range, and I feel like everybody's got a Walmart nearby. Everybody has access to Amazon.
Yes. And speaking of, I can see my demographics on the back end of my channel.
Oh,
And
okay.
I've got women in their late 20s all the way up to mid 60s.
Yeah.
My average is about 45 to 55 as far
Okay.
as my audience goes, women from the US.
Yep.
But I do have a wide range. And it's funny, I get a lot of comments from people who say typically closer to my age who say that they've kind of given up on themselves, which I think
Hmm.
happens,
Yeah.
at
It's
certain times
tough.
in your life. And then they said that I've inspired them to take care of themselves better and try different things,
Hmm.
wear more clothing that is fitted. A lot of people try to hide their bodies. That isn't always the most flattering look for people. So
Yeah.
maybe showing your waist a little bit, or if you don't like your arms, wearing off the shoulder shirt draws the eye up here,
Okay. I
different things like that. And I do occasionally I'll do makeup tutorials and they love that
was
as
gonna say
well.
your makeup looks fabulous
Oh,
too.
thank
So
you.
you do a great job. Like,
Thanks.
it's kind of crazy. So you started out preparing to be on camera with broadcast journalism.
Yes, way
Okay.
back
Way
in the
back.
90s. And then
Okay.
just like every other communications student, if anyone watches this, we all end up in sales because where are we going?
Where are you going? Right, there's only so many jobs, I feel like,
Right. It's
for that.
either, public relations, which locally there's not a ton of that, or news stations, which again,
It's difficult to get
Buffalo is actually
into.
considered a bigger market. So it's very
Really?
difficult to
Okay.
get in. Yeah, you
Okay.
typically will start out someplace like Elmira, New York or
Oh,
something like
wow.
that.
Oh gosh.
Yeah.
Tiny
So I
little.
never I never pursued that. I just went right into sales. I worked for Ingram Micro
Okay.
initially right out of college, which is
Yeah.
like technology sales. And I've done a ton of things in my career, which I guess is not typical for Gen X. Gen X typically gets one job and doesn't leave.
Stays and that's it. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, but I feel like your sales job, obviously the broadcast journalism, like all of that has kind of prepared you to be in front of the camera, right? I feel like
Yeah,
there's
for
a skill
sure.
set that you've brought into this.
Yeah. I think when you and I were corresponding, I did mention that I pairing my sales along with my on camera just kind of made my own little mini QVC, I call it,
Mhm, I love
because
it.
that's exactly what I'm doing. Styling, but I'm doing it all. I'm the
Yeah,
model. I'm telling you about it,
yeah.
and I'm curating the outfits from the brands. I choose what I want to show, and then I do the on camera portion, and tell you all the features, just like I did in sales.
Yeah. I think we're all wondering too, how big is your closet?
You know what? I will
How
be
does that
totally
work?
honest with you. I give a lot
Oh,
away.
I
Typically,
love
the
it.
brands, if I'm doing a collaboration with them, they'll give
Mhm.
me the clothing.
Okay.
Anything that I buy on my own, if I have too much, I do return it because I just can't
Yeah.
keep it all.
Yeah, but you're still showcasing, you're helping people,
Yeah.
whether you give it away, whether it's something you show and you return, it's okay.
And I've worked one on one with, for example, Walmart with paid collabs, and they
Mhm.
actually tell you, go ahead and return the stuff when you're done with it. So it's nothing that I'm
Yep,
doing that's wrong or
yep.
anything like
You're
that.
not actually wearing it and going out
No.
and
It'd be
living your
just like
life in
trying
it.
it on in the store.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. No, which is great. And where do you get your inspiration from for your outfits? Like, how does this all come
It's funny. At
together?
first, I was sort of uncomfortable. I was like, I don't know if I have a fashion sense. I can sort of for myself. I tend to be pretty plain. I wear a ton of black. I actually show more on TV, on YouTube than I do in real life. I can be
Mhm.
kind of lazy when I'm just out and about because
Mhm.
I also work from home. If I'm not on
Mhm.
camera, I'm comfortable as well. Like right now, this is like a jumpsuit and it's just cozy.
Comfortable, I think, is a part of it. I think back to our generation because I'm not much behind you age-wise, and, we had our low-cut jeans, I know the wide leg pants are back in, which how I wonder how those girls are loving that this past winter, but comfort is a thing. Like, these kids go out in sneakers, and
Oh, yeah.
which I have a sneaker collection at this point, but how do you incorporate comfort into this with pretty much everything? What does that look like?
Yeah, I mean, that is something I found people over 50 do want to be comfortable. Everyone wants
Yes.
to look good. And I've said this on my channel. If you can turn on your Instagram app and you'll see influencers everywhere
Mhm.
and they're showing a lot of really cute things, a furry bag, 14 bracelets, a lot of things going on at once, but I also like to show reality. That
Yeah.
may be on date night. At
Yep.
54, date night is not 7 nights a week.
No.
So I do show day-to-day things. Lots of people work in offices. I'll show some office wear. But I do feel like since COVID, loungewear is incorporated into everyday looks
Oh,
lately.
yeah. I remember years ago flying to the West Coast because I have family on the West Coast and, wearing heels on a 5.5 hour flight to California. Like, what was I thinking?
I know. Well,
I
in the
laugh at that.
90s, when I worked in an office, I would come home and wash out my nylons. What are nylons?
Right, right. Do people wear those? Right,
Yeah,
right.
I wear skirts every day. I know so much has changed. Some of it I like and some of it I don't like. I have 2 younger daughters. One's almost 20 and I have one in high school right
Mhm.
now, and she's a sophomore. And dropping her off at school, and they're all in sweats
Mm,
and hoodies,
yeah.
which that's not my thing either. I want to be
Yeah.
comfortable, but you won't see me in a hoodie ever.
Home, maybe if I'm dropping the kids off, but yeah, I
Yeah,
mean, I feel like but they're also like going out in sweatpants and a hoodie. They're not
I
just
know.
wearing that to school. I've
Yeah,
gone out with friends, not out, but even if you're at a restaurant and they're starting to be that transition time and maybe you're having dinner
yeah.
and none of them are dressed up. I like to feel dressed up sometimes. Like
Same here.
I think you need to have comfort, but also a time where you're dressing up. What are some of your favorite date night ideas for outfits?
In the wintertime, I just like everyone else, I can get in a rut because this time of year, it's been, black bodysuits, jeans. I have a short fur jacket that fur is trending right now in
Yep.
handbags and in jackets, vests,
Yep.
tons of stuff. So I was wearing my white fur this
Okay,
season,
I
which
love
was
it.
fun. Yeah.
Yep.
I love boots. Now with the wide leg, even I have had an issue because how do you show off your boots?
Yeah.
So cigarette jeans, which are basically just straight leg
Yep.
jeans,
Yep.
you can wear your slouchy boots with, and that
Okay.
looks really cute. There's a ton of suede this season, so I was wearing my suede slouchy boots, my fur jacket, and
Nice.
then I do like to have a cute handbag. I'm pretty basic underneath though, like black bodysuit a lot of times, maybe one shoulder, maybe just a scoop.
Okay.
Simple things like that, but then your accessories help. That's in the winter. Summer, I cannot wait because that's when I'll wear maxi dresses
Yep.
or sundresses. I love a good jumpsuit.
Yep.
It's funny because I'm known for tube tops and jumpsuits on my channel because those are my favorite.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. What are your must-have outfit essentials?
Well, let's say it is date night or you're going
Okay.
out, not necessarily, even if you're going to brunch with the girls or whatever, something like that. I always tell people don't bring that giant purse that you wear to go to grocery shopping. Have a cute little clutch or something under your
Mhm,
arm.
mhm,
They're not
okay.
expensive. You can get one on Amazon.
Yep.
Don't drag that workhorse with you.
Yeah.
It just drags down the whole outfit.
Yeah.
And then, of course, hair and makeup is always essential. Really take time with that. It's so funny
Yeah.
because I am a product of the 80s for sure, where makeup is concerned. And
Mhm.
I know you could see everywhere. And this is an example of you don't have to listen to every piece of advice an influencer gives you,
Mhm.
even
Mhm.
myself. There are tons of videos telling anyone over 40 not to wear eyeliner,
Mhm.
especially on the bottom, especially
Mhm.
black.
Mhm.
I wear it all. And it really
Yours looks
just,
great.
thank you.
It looks perfect. I don't have it on right now. I did like powder today for a softer, but yes, especially like your eyes just pop.
Yeah. I just feel like if it works for you, go ahead
Right.
and continue to wear it. If
Yeah.
I don't have it on, people ask me if I'm okay. Am I sick? Are you tired? What
'Cause they're
happened?
used to seeing you with it. You're
Right.
not.
Yeah. So you don't have to listen to every piece of advice. And I always, my big philosophy is wear what makes you feel good. And that includes makeup and hair as well.
It's funny to think back, right? We grew up with the Golden Girls era, and I remember learning their actual ages,
Yes.
and I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna swear, holy shit."
Yes.
They're like young, they're like our age,
Right.
and they look like grandmas. Like, our age doesn't we don't look like grandmas. I hate to say
No.
that, but and it's
And
no judgment
honestly,
towards anybody, but different
yeah, I don't
times.
think it's, skincare or Botox or any of that. I truly believe it's just style. If I were to cut my hair short, didn't do my makeup the way I do it, I would probably look like
You
the
look
Golden Girls,
different.
which
Yeah.
one of them was 54.
Yeah.
I forget their names because that wasn't my show,
Yep.
but
Yep.
I have a reel on my Instagram that shows her and myself. And I said, by the way, we're both 54. And I had pictures side
Oh
by
my
side.
gosh, I love that. I
Yeah,
love
it was
that.
really good.
But it makes you think, I don't know if you feel this way, but I'll be 48 this year. And I'm like, but I still remember being in my 20s, right? And I think
Yeah,
still aspects of my personality still exist
for
with what I
sure.
what I dress with or what I like or what I'm
Yes.
drawn to. But we don't have to look like we're going on 70 or 80
No.
at 50. Like,
No, and I feel like, the generation before us, kind of some women from that generation gave us rules. Oh, you can't wear a short skirt after 40. You
yes,
should cut your hair after 40.
yes.
None of that is true, and I don't know where that came from, and I still have people in my life who will give me that advice, and I just smile and, "No, I like my long hair," or
You're gorgeous. You don't
whatever
need to
it
cut
is.
your hair. Like, there's no reason you need to cut your hair. If you get sick of
Right.
doing it and you want it shorter and that's your choice, by
Yeah.
all means.
And I think that's what my channel has done for some women is give them permission to put the short skirt on or
Yes.
a tube top at 54 or grow their hair or wear more makeup or eyeliner if they've heard you're not supposed to.
Yeah.
A lot of people are just intimidated by those old rules or what they've heard. And,
Yeah.
I always say it's just makeup. If it doesn't work out, wash it off or it's just clothes. It's not
Mhm.
as heavy as some people can make it.
Yeah, it's about, like, what helps you feel confident and what helps you
Mhm.
feel good, and makeup, we have the ability to I don't know, now we have options. We've got Sephora, we've got Ulta,
Yeah.
now they're inside the Targets and so
Yeah.
forth. Like, we have options as far as makeup. Amazon, you can literally order anything from there.
Yeah.
There's no reason you can't have access to something, and I think too with YouTube, you have so many options and like, okay, well, maybe I'm not comfortable putting on eyeliner, maybe I'm not comfortable wearing eyeshadow, or maybe this is a color I wouldn't normally wear. You can teach people how to wear this stuff and maybe build some confidence in being able to use some of these things to their advantage.
Yeah, for sure. And I think YouTube is a great platform for my age group, I should say. I'm
Mhm.
definitely older than you.
Not
Um,
by much.
but I think because I feel like women my age typically like to gather and have a discussion, and they always leave me comments and say they feel like they're hanging out with me. And you
Oh,
really
I
can't
love
get
that.
that in a 15 to 30-second video on Instagram or TikTok or something like that. So, I'll kind of, like I said, self deprecate or I'll throw some nostalgia out there. Remember when we used to do this? And while I'm doing my makeup, and I use my finger still like the 80s and that kind of
Mhm.
thing. And people really enjoy that. And it makes it less intimidating because if you see young girls doing this and that with the
Yeah.
fast music and they
Yeah.
barely show you what they're doing, they look fantastic because they're 20, you just
Yeah.
kind of give up. But then you see someone like me and I'm far more relatable and I'm doing it in a relaxed environment. And then
Mhm.
you have the opportunity to ask me questions in the comments and so forth. And people seem to enjoy that.
Yeah, I think that interaction is really fun because I think people are feeling I don't know, in such an age where there is a lot of disconnection, like COVID was isolating all of us.
Yeah.
And I do love technology, right? I work from home, I work virtually, obviously doing this kind of stuff. The interaction is a way to kind of help people just feel supported and maybe making some of these subtle changes that are going to build confidence or empower them to do something that's going to help them feel better about themselves. I mean, I am all about like supporting other women. I think that we have to be, I think there's enough women who are not supportive, but like to
Agreed.
find the ones where you can feel connected and you can feel supported. I think that that's everything.
Yeah, and that's very difficult. That is something I've posted about on my social media that unfortunately many women were trained to bond over gossip or putting other women down.
Yeah.
And it's just awful and it needs to stop.
Yeah. Agree.
Women should support women for sure.
Yeah.
And hopefully I will inspire someone to who is unhappy in their career to go ahead and switch. Because like I said, I've done so many different things. My very last job that I worked for someone else was for 14 years, which was a decent stretch. You don't see
Okay.
that,
Yeah.
you know, very often nowadays, but it was a great job and I was, content, but I knew there was more for me and I didn't care
Mhm.
how old I was. So off I went and here I am. And eventually I was able to quit. By the way, when I started the channel, it took me 3 years of doing both.
Mhm.
So it's not something that happened overnight, even though
Oh,
it kind
yeah.
of seems that way, I think, to some people who know me. It
Yeah.
was like my little secret going on at home.
Yeah.
And
Something you
it
did on the
just,
side around
yeah,
your full-time job and you prepared it. And when I went into private practice, I didn't start full-time. I started part-time while
yeah,
I was working full-time and then made that transition. I think that people don't understand how much work goes into this stuff too.
for sure. So for you, I'm assuming you don't have employees, it's just yourself.
And I don't want employees.
And it's the same for me. A lot of, like I mentioned, I go to the YouTube events and I know some YouTubers that have a staff of 6,
Oh,
but
wow.
I do everything.
I love this. I want to hear more about these YouTube events because there are people that I think are. I know I've had people ask me about this podcast and
Mhm.
launching this, and this was a complete learning curve. I didn't know anything. I bought
That
a course and I started learning along the way, and you have to get. I do all my own editing and everything.
yeah.
So, what are these YouTube conferences? Are these all over the U.S., all over the world? What does this look like?
Well, they have headquarters in a few different major cities.
Okay.
New York City and
Okay.
also Los Angeles are the 2 that I've attended. And so if you're in what's called the YouTube shopping program, which is basically you work with brands and you make commission off of selling their product on your
Hmm.
YouTube channel, it's like an affiliate platform that gives you commission. So
Okay.
I've been selling with them for
Hmm.
quite a while. And if you hit a certain threshold, you are invited to these events and you're part of a whole
Okay.
different program called the Shopping Stars. And I am part of that program.
Okay.
So I was invited for the first time, I think 2 years ago, to Los Angeles to Google headquarters because Google owns YouTube.
Okay.
And it's fantastic. It was a full day of like workshops, meeting brands, and we left with tons of swag. I mean, I needed its own
It's
suitcase
okay.
just for the swag. Yeah. So that kind of thing. And the nice part is because you don't have coworkers in this business,
Hmm.
you meet people and they become your coworkers remotely.
Hmm.
We chat with each other and text and stuff now because we've all met a few times.
Okay.
So that's super fun. It's really nice.
I think it's really cool to be able to meet other people in the business who do this. I know I've heard of on podcasters talking about like mastermind events. So I feel like this is a similar dynamic, but for YouTube, where
Yes.
you're collaborating, you're getting ideas. Maybe you're trying something new and maybe you run it by like one of your YouTuber friends before you launch it. I don't know if you do any of that kind of stuff.
Yes, we do for sure. We exchange ideas, depending on what we've heard at these events. If someone's giving away a really high commission on something, well, how can we incorporate that into our channel?
Hmm.
And we discuss different ideas with each other and all kinds of stuff. It's really nice to have someone because for so long I felt like I was on an island.
Yeah.
Locally, especially in Buffalo, I mean, there are YouTubers here. I don't know any, but I know there are, but not all of them are in the same field that I am
Yeah.
selling fashion and showing
Hmm.
that kind of thing. So it's nice to have other people for sure.
Now, are some of these other YouTubers that you've met, is there similar women in a same age bracket?
That's a good question because I am typically one of the oldest in the room when
Okay.
I'm at these events.
Wow. Okay.
So you see, I would say the average age probably is early 30s.
Okay.
You've got people who are younger than 20 even, and then my age would be probably the oldest I've seen. And there are some very successful women who are my age, which,
Hmm.
those are people I look up to. I'm
Hmm.
definitely not at their level, but
Hmm.
it gives me hope. And I've been asked by people, well, what are you going to do? Because eventually you're going to get older. And I said, well, so's my audience.
Right, right, and
You're
here's
still
the
going to be relevant
thing, just
to
because you're older
someone.
doesn't mean you're not relevant, like, you're still
Exactly.
gonna be wearing clothes.
Right, and I think because I do hair and makeup and I'm wearing nice clothes, it's looked at as something that's, super glamorous and it's only based on how I look, but that's not it at all.
And here's the thing, as an almost 48-year-old woman, I don't wanna pull up a 20-year-old YouTuber's makeup tutorial because she doesn't have my skin, she doesn't have the
Exactly.
issues that I deal with. I
Right.
want a more mature woman who is going to apply makeup and maybe give me ideas that are going to be fitted for me. And again, it doesn't matter if it's the black eyeliner or not. It just, what are the tips on how to get that black eyeliner on if that's what you want? But I don't want it from a 20-year-old.
I fully agree. And that's kind of how I started watching YouTube. And then I did discover some of these YouTubers who were my age. And imagine the fangirling when I met them in person. I'm thinking, they have
I
no
love
idea
it.
I've been watching them for 6 years.
But you hear the stories a lot. I hear the stories with podcasters, same thing, just like
Yeah.
you finally have that person that you've idolized and looked up to
Yeah.
in that same realm, and then you meet them, and I don't know, I think it's great. My hope is that they're honored that you followed them and you've maybe learned things from them.
Yeah, for sure. They're great. And just like any other industry, a lot of the creators can be competitive. Some
Mhm.
only want to hang with, depending on how many subscribers you have, they want to be with people who are higher than them or at their
Oh,
level.
okay.
It's just
Okay.
like any other industry. But the nice thing about being this age is I don't care.
I was just gonna say, I feel like you're gonna do you. You're
Yeah.
doing a great job, and if you can make friends, I guess I want it to be authentic too, not just based on how many followers that you have. Like, is it cool to learn from the people who have like made it big? Yes, sure,
Yeah.
but I don't know. You seem more genuine to me. Like you're
I'm
not
way
somebody
too
who's
genuine for
just
that. Even as a young girl, I wasn't that person. So
yeah.
it's not a problem for me. I just find the people who are real, and I have. I found my people in those events, and we
Hmm.
have a good time, and that's all I need. And it's funny too because you can look at people's subscriber count and think that they're doing very well, but
Hmm.
I've actually had better numbers than people with 5 times the subscribers because of my selling. So you really can't judge how well someone is doing, and why bother?
Yeah, and I don't know how accurate like things are on Instagram, but I'll like look, I'll post something and I'll see like, oh, this is the insight for this. And it
Yeah,
doesn't match what my followers, like I've had some really decently high viewed things, but
right.
I might have only this many followers. So I feel like Instagram is a little bit tricky with that. YouTube, I'm newer to YouTube's.
Okay.
And my stuff's a little bit different than what you're doing too.
Yeah.
So it's gonna have maybe different following to some degree, but also I think there's crossover too, because midlife, here we are.
That's right. Here we are. How did it happen? I couldn't tell you.
I joke about this though. I'm like, would I like, the 20-year-old body I didn't have to work at? Yeah, that would be fantastic. But the wisdom where I'm at now is just, I wouldn't
The
trade it for anything.
confidence.
Yeah.
That's what I
Confidence.
appreciate the most, and I try to tell, because I have 2 daughters, I try to tell them how beautiful they are, how they have the world in their hands, and if they only knew,
Yeah, yeah,
you
how
know.
powerful that would make them in life because I don't know, I feel like when you have confidence and you're a good person, I don't see you being drawn into like the drama. You're trying to do good things and interact and help other women. And that has a ripple effect. And my hope is that your daughters see you doing this and
Yeah,
they're like, that's my mom. If they're younger, sometimes they get a little, oh my God, that's cringy, right? But at the same
right.
time, I'm pretty sure that they look up to you and what you're doing.
Thank you, and I can kinda tell. They'll go, "Oh, my mom's filming."
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah, that stuff.
quiet.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah.
cute.
It's inspiring. I think also too, being a woman who decided midlife, right, to take this chance and to take this leap, do you think you would have had the confidence in your 20s to do this?
Probably not. I remember I did want a news job at the time, and thinking back to then, the internet was brand new.
Mhm.
And so I graduated from college in 1995. They actually had a course at my school called World Wide Web, I think it was called. It was a 3 credit course to teach you about it. So that speaks to how brand new it was.
Yeah.
So if you wanted a job on air or on camera, you had to take a book and the news station addresses were there and you had to write to them and send them a video resume.
Oh
And
boy.
the video resume was this big.
On like actual like film?
It was on film. I forget even what it was called, some kind of millimeter film, but it was this huge thing that you had to make copies and pay for and mail off, or you would get the advice they gave you back then was to get a headshot and put your resume on the back.
Mm.
But it was, like, such a shot in the dark unless you knew someone, so I just kinda, said the heck with it, but thinking back, I probably should have pursued it. Again, no confidence, didn't wanna leave Buffalo, leave my
Okay.
family,
That's
leave my
intimidating.
boyfriend at the time.
Yeah, yeah, it's intimidating to leave. I feel like
Yeah,
what you're doing now has given you the ability to work from home, the convenience of that. I mean, I love the convenience of that.
yeah,
And people from all over the world can watch what you put out there and you
yes,
can inspire and you can help them feel confident. I just
It's
think
okay. I
it's a
mean,
good thing.
yeah, it's a good thing, and it's sometimes I stop and I think, "I can't believe
Like, is this
I
my life?
grew a business out of my bedroom."
Yeah,
I mean, it's crazy.
literally. Yeah.
And I taught myself, just like you have with the podcast, all of the parts of the business one by one
Mhm.
until it's in a system right now. I know what days I film, when to order,
Oh, I
when
love
to
that.
edit, how to do all the different parts of it, and it's just comes easy now, which is nice.
It's cool too, and not that you wouldn't mind help sometimes. I'm sure there's days where you're like, "Oh my gosh, I wish I had somebody to help with this."
Yeah.
But I know I love that, like, I know how to do all this. The
Mm.
same with my private practice. I used to, um there was a dynamic where I had billing and stuff like that, and somebody else was doing that, and then I took all that over. I love knowing how to do it all because it gives me that autonomy, like, over my business. I know every
Right.
aspect of it, and then kind of doing this too, being able to record, it's done to my liking and to my style, and I feel like that gives you the control over how that
Yeah.
is released and how that comes out.
I fully agree because I did have my college daughter helping with editing here and there.
Mhm.
But what was happening was while I'm recording or filming and speaking to the camera, I'm making notes of what I want inserted in each of the frames that I'm speaking about it.
Yep.
And I found it to be more work having to say, okay, here's the raw footage. At this point, you're going to insert this picture and, write this across the screen. This is the text overlay.
You're like
I have it all up here, and that's
Yeah.
just easier. So I own every part of it. Now, as far as the returns, I would love to give that to someone else,
I
or
was
I'm
gonna say
happy.
that's a little different though, because that doesn't involve, like, your creativity. That's
No,
just
the
yeah.
grunt work, steaming the clothing, all of that, I'd happily give that away.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, I didn't even think about that. Like,
Oh, yeah.
stuff comes in the mail, you're steaming it,
Yes.
hanging it, like, oh my
Just
gosh.
think about when you've gotten something from Amazon and it's, like, in a ball. I'm the one
Yeah.
who's steaming it all out.
Yeah, yeah, no, definitely. It's like, "Okay, is this gonna look okay?" Then you get it steamed and you're fine, but,
Yes, for sure.
you have a couple moments there.
Yes.
What advice would you give to somebody who might be interested in taking a chance and in starting something like this? Because I just feel like there's so many, like with style and clothing and accessories, makeup, all of it. Like, what would be
Yeah.
your advice for them be?
I mean, honestly, I always say, because I've been asked this multiple times. In fact, I get a lot of DMs from people asking if I have a course or could teach people how to start, which
There
I
you
have
go.
thought of.
Yeah.
So that is one of on my little wish list. But for right
Yeah.
now, I always say just turn the camera on. Whatever it is you want to do. If you want to show how you do home decor or cooking or whatever, just turn the camera on.
Hmm.
At my last position, I was in marketing and I worked for a grant and I was asked to film a commercial. And at the time, I don't know if you're familiar with it, it was a show called AM Buffalo. It
Hmm.
was a live
Yep.
Channel 7 show.
Yep.
So I was interviewed on live TV, and representing the organization I worked for. But anyway, going back to the commercial, I remember the cameraman was like sort of coaching me. And
Hmm.
he's like, look, once that camera comes on, he's like, people forget their own name. And I'm like, really? Okay. But it came very easy to me. So my point is turn the camera on because you're going to stink at first. Some people can't stand a picture of themselves. Now just imagine every week filming yourself and trying clothing on and showing full body
Hmm.
and walking around and talking. So see how you are and get rid of all the kinks and
Hmm.
eventually you'll get good at it. People are more interested in the content, you know. They're not going to
Yeah.
focus on the stuff you focus on yourself.
You're gonna be your hardest critic, right? Like,
Always.
you're gonna judge yourself the harshest. I'll watch something and be like, "Oh my gosh, my skin or my hair,"
Yeah.
or "I can't believe I talk like that," and
Yes.
nobody has ever said anything on any of those things. Maybe people think that, I don't know, but you do get a little more used to seeing yourself too on camera the more you're doing it, the
Yes, for
more it
sure.
just kind of becomes like, "Oh, okay, that is what that is."
Yeah, it definitely gets easier. You just have to start somewhere. That's why my advice is always just turn the camera on. That simple and go from there.
I wanna rewind for a second. So you started this during COVID.
I did.
And the world stopped, right? I mean, we were functioning, we were moving along. That's something that happened in China, and then China was like on our doorstep, right?
Yeah.
Like that's kind of how I always there was always something going on in China. It just wasn't my on my radar. And then it was. And it was like, oh my gosh, like this is real, this is happening.
Yes.
So
And for that reason, I was working for a grant and we were told to work from home. Well, there really wasn't anything to do.
Yeah.
In the position I was marketing. I used to go out and almost canvas organizations. So now I'm not going out. I was posting a bit here and there on the social media for the organization, but that was not full time.
Yeah.
And I think at the time YouTube was blowing up because everyone was watching vloggers or just anything to escape their own home.
Oh, yeah. Anything. Watched everything. We'd already binged everything on Netflix. We're on to the next
Yes.
things, right? Because you couldn't go out to eat. You couldn't do all
Couldn't
the
do
normal
anything.
things. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think I was watching cooking videos as well, all
Okay.
that stuff. And so I just like, this is something I want to do. I know I want to do it. Let me just try it. So I didn't buy clothes. I had whatever I had in my closet
Mhm.
and I just started trying it on and filming it after the cabbage soup video. That was the first disaster.
Had to cook first. Okay.
And then I was like, let me try fashion. This is weird. So I did. And, I was ordering things eventually off of Walmart and Amazon, but just initially I took some of my clothing that I had and I think I called it like a capsule wardrobe or something like that
Okay.
and tried things on. I did a Miami themed haul one time because my husband
Okay.
and I had
Love
gone
it.
to Miami and I had all cool outfits for that. And I just went from there. And so that extra time helped me. It definitely wouldn't have happened if I was working full time in an office still.
Was there like a single point where things just started to take over? Like you were just like, "Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, like this is working."
It did, but it was like inch by inch. So initially for YouTube to get monetized, you have to have 1,000 subscribers
Okay.
and a certain amount of hours of watch time.
Okay.
So that was my initial goal. Once I realized I liked it and I started making more videos, I'm like, oh, let's see if I can get monetized. I remember thinking if I made like $50 a video and I made 4 videos, I would have $200 a
Well,
month.
that's how it starts though.
Yeah, and I
Yeah.
was so excited, an extra $200 from just sitting trying clothes on. So, I just had many goals, and the first was to get monetized, and I did. It really, I would say, kind of picked up when I started showing Walmart. So
Wow.
initially, I was showing like Lulu's or something a little more expensive, and when
Mhm.
I launched a Walmart haul, they loved it because it's relatable to everyone.
Everybody. I don't know anybody who
Everyone has
hasn't
a
gone into
Walmart.
Walmart and bought something, right? Like
Right, for sure. Now, Target, everyone seems to love Target, but I feel like Walmart is more of the secret because everyone knows there are cute clothes at Target.
right,
They
right.
don't
I agree.
think that about Walmart. So
Yeah.
I like to shock people with, "Oh, it's from Walmart."
Right. Yeah.
Yeah,
I've been out before. I remember one time wearing a dress out and someone asked me if it was some designer and I was like, "No, it's from Amazon." And they were like, "What?" And it
yeah.
looked like the designer. It just
Oh,
didn't come with a
Amazon for sure.
designer price tag at all,
Yeah,
you
definitely.
know?
And it's funny because people shut down when you say Walmart in real life. They kind of like back up and look at you. They may have had a different opinion of you until you said that. And then they're kind of confused, but they can't say they don't like it anymore just because you said
Right.
Walmart.
Right. Right.
So I try to get rid of that whole, stigma that's attached to Walmart. And I think I have.
The reality is it's all made in a foreign country.
Right.
It's all coming from somewhere. Sometimes I wonder, is the quality really that much better? I mean, some things, yes, but not
Yeah, some things.
necessarily. Nothing is made like it used to be. So if I can get something for $15, like a shirt, like I'm not going to lie, my little shirt today is from Shein, and I think I
There
paid
you
like
go.
$9 for it. It's exactly what I wanted, and in a designer store would have been a lot more.
Yeah.
I've gone on to some of these sites and ordered things and I'm, like, surprised at, like, how cute they are. I've bought stuff at Walmart, and
Yeah.
it's great. I get compliments on some of that stuff.
Right. I mean, everything's hit or miss. I don't care where you shop.
Yeah.
Sometimes you'll get something fantastic and sometimes not. I did the Nordstrom sale last year and I was actually invited by Google to go into
Wow.
the Nordstrom flagship store
Okay.
before they opened the day of the sale. So I
Wow.
had a full hour. I think it was myself and maybe like 10 other creators
Okay.
to film whatever I wanted that was going to be, on sale.
Nordstrom Rack or Nordstrom?
Nordstrom,
Okay.
the flagship store in New York City.
Oh, New York City. Oh, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah.
I was like, "Wait,
Yeah.
we have a Nordstrom here? Where
Yeah.
is
No,
it?"
I went to New York on that invitation. I was like, "Oh, I'm going to New York."
Yeah.
And it was
Yeah.
great, but the point is, I wasn't like, "Wow, this is so much better than Walmart."
It's
In
not
some cases, yes,
right.
But I have found that lately, for example, shoes
It's
are
hard to
so
find.
expensive even at
Yes.
Walmart.
Yeah.
It's the tariff situation, I'm assuming.
Yeah.
Things have gone up. And so I think to myself, should I buy them at Walmart or should I go to Nordstrom? Because the price difference is starting to catch up.
Mhm.
So hopefully that changes. But for right now, some of the stuff is you might as well get the better stuff.
Well, yeah, I mean, shoes are probably one thing I mean, I'm probably a little pickier with shoes only because as we get older, I feel like you need to have good shoes, but
Yes.
if I find something I like at Walmart, sure, great, but I was in New York actually, right before Thanksgiving, and we went
Uh,
into Macy's, and I'm like, "I'm here looking for some new black booties, I'm looking for a sale," which, they had all their Black Friday sales going on, and I did, I
mhm.
found myself some shoes, and I feel like New York is I mean, I can't even imagine what it costs to live there and to shop there.
Oh, and being in Nordstrom was amazing. There are some floors that we weren't even allowed on.
Oh, wow.
And they had, like, full bars, like a martini bar, lounge. I
Yeah,
basically think they're set up by appointment, and who's ever purchasing the customer is sitting on the couch, sipping a martini, and
and
clothes
they're
are
just
being brought
showing.
out
Yeah,
to them.
yeah.
And I was just like, my neck was gonna break as we went
What am
up
I
the
gonna see?
escalator.
Yeah, yeah, let me look around, yeah.
Yeah.
What a fun experience.
Yeah, it's been great.
You yeah, at this point, I mean, how many followers are you at?
On YouTube, I'm just under 23,000. So,
Okay,
the people that I see in LA have hundreds of thousands, but that's okay. I'm
that's
doing
okay,
alright
you're
for
doing
myself.
great, yeah.
Yeah.
So 1,000 followers, you can monetize,
You can monetize.
and how do you pitch it to Walmart? Like, how do you get their attention? How does this work?
So the way I got brand deals was I initially joined the LTK platform.
Oh, like to know,
Not sure if
okay.
you most people have
Mhm,
heard of LTK at this point. And they, allow you to link via their platform and you can earn commission.
okay.
So once I started selling a lot of Walmart, they contacted LTK. They're not necessarily looking for me, but they'll say we want a certain age, a certain geographic location influencer to do a collab for us.
Mhm,
And that's when I was approached. So
okay.
I've done well over, I don't know, 100 collabs with them throughout the
Wow.
4 or 5 years. They definitely have slashed their budget for collabs, just like anything else. There's
Mhm.
always a gravy train with things,
Mm.
and then suddenly they pull back a bit. So it's up and down now, but that's okay. I'm still growing, and that's all I care about.
Still growing, and there's always going to be more opportunity, right? I mean, are there people all over who are doing this at this point? I mean, I guess I don't know if the competition is up. I don't know if it's tariffs. I don't know what it is, but I feel like there's always going to be the next trends, and there's always going to be somebody that they need. And you've done a good job to grow, and I think what you're doing is like you do a great job. Like I watch
Thank
it,
you.
and I'm like, oh, I feel like I used to love tube tops. I haven't worn them in a long time, and then I
Get
saw
your
your
tube
tube top
top.
video, and I'm like, man, I might have to get some tube tops again. I love
Yes,
it.
for sure. They're trending. Anything Y2K. So remember all the Sex in the City kind of
Mhm.
outfits? The
Mhm.
small bagette purses, those are all back. I rewatched. I hadn't watched that series
I should go back.
since the original.
Yeah,
So it was
same.
all kind of new to me. I mean, I remembered some of it, but I was really paying attention to the fashion again. Love it.
Yeah, yeah, the wide leg jeans, and they came back in. I went back and bought myself a pair of 7 jeans that are wide leg. I'm actually gonna wear them out to dinner tonight with one of my girlfriends, but I'm like, "Okay,
Yeah.
I can still rock these even
Oh, I
though
love wide leg. Now, low rise,
they're
I
not
never,
that they're mid-rise. I can't do the low
okay.
rise anymore because that's
Low
not
rise is
comfortable."
tough.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
was hard for me when it first came out.
I rocked it when it first came out, I feel like, because 'cause I'm like you, I'm shorter torso, long legs, those
Okay.
jeans are long, and with a pair of high heels, like, I'm good, but
Yeah.
at this point, I mean, I'm gonna say this, we had thongs that used to, like, poke out of the I don't want
Oh,
any
I
part
know.
of that. I want my
Fortunately,
belly covered.
the new low rise are great because they're kind of wide leg and they don't do the muffin top like they used to.
Okay,
They
okay.
come up a
They
little
have
bit on the
stretch?
sides
Yes.
and they're stretched. Oh, don't give me any of the 90s rigid denim.
Yes,
I don't wanna do
yes.
squats before I leave the house.
Yeah, no, absolutely not. No, I laugh. Well, it's funny because I've seen some videos pop up of girls with the wide leg, low rise jeans, and they're like, wait a minute, why do they want, like, they're going off about all the things that we like suffered
Oh,
through.
yes.
So,
We suffered.
yeah, definitely. But no, this is you're doing great things. I love that you have come on and were willing to share your story. I know initially you're like, "Oh, I just have like a clothing show." And I'm like, "No," but like
Yeah.
you during COVID, you defied kind of what society tells us we're supposed to do. We're supposed to a 9 to
Yes.
5 type job.
Agreed.
And you stepped out of that. I as I've gotten older, I'm more and more in support of people being entrepreneurs and figuring this out because I don't know, 9 to 5 isn't for everybody. And I don't think
No.
there's room for creativity oftentimes in those 9 to 5 jobs.
Agreed.
And now you have that ability to be creative and to help people. And not that you didn't help people in sales, but this is more personal, I feel like.
It definitely is. I have so much job satisfaction, and that is truly important. I don't think people realize that, especially when they're younger. When you're younger, you're going like this in your
Mhm.
job or your career, and you're sort of you're chasing promotions and titles and raises, and not realizing that, having to insert a document or email and beg to leave 10 minutes early for a dental appointment
Mhm.
is not wealth. Like, I don't want the extra money. I don't want that. I don't want to ever have to do that again. I'm sure you
Yeah.
understand.
Oh my gosh. I remember one time, I mean, I tell stories of previous experiences, but I remember one job of only having 1 week's paid vacation in a year. And at the time I had little children. And I remember thinking, okay, I can do this. Right. And
Oh,
no, it's awful. I didn't stay in it long. And it wasn't a bad place to work, but that 1 week vacation, like I love having the ability if I need a day off, if I need a mental health day, if I'm sick, I don't have to like pray I'm still going to have a job afterwards. Like I know
right.
that I can work more if I need to, I can work less if I need to. You have that I don't know, I guess that autonomy over much you work or how little you work. You choose that. You control it.
Yes. And that is the part I absolutely love. It's the best feeling in the world. It really is. You can spend more time with your family, whether it's your parents or your immediate family, your children, your husband, whatever it is. When I
Mhm.
decide a vacation, I don't have to work around anything but myself. And it's great, and sometimes I'll work 12 hours in a day, but it's so broken up, or it's when I'm sitting in a chair or on my couch and I'm doing it from my phone. I'm still working, but there's no commute and I'm not in
Yeah.
meetings unless I want to be.
Yep.
All of that. I absolutely love the freedom part of it. And there's that old fashioned saying about if you do what you love, it's not work.
Yep.
And it's
Exactly.
so true. I will catch myself filming for about 5 hours just for one video because I'm doing shorts videos in between, or I'm tweaking the outfits with accessories, or
Mhm.
I'm posting something to my story while I'm showing it. And
Mhm.
it's so fun. And
It
I
is
don't
fun.
realize
Yeah.
that time has passed. So that's great.
It gives you quality of life. It
Mhm.
allows you to still be present with your family. It is, I don't want to say it's doesn't come with pressure or stress because there's always stress when you're doing stuff, but I feel like there are better kinds of stress, right? It's more stress of like, I'm excited, I get to do this, and there's good stress that comes with it, right?
Yeah. I mean,
But
the stress could be for me, especially if I don't work, I don't get paid. So
yeah,
I could certainly be lazy, but it will come out in my
some
paycheck.
way.
So
Yeah.
you really have to be motivated, and I am. So that hasn't been a problem.
No, I see you being motivated. I see you doing all the things that you need to do to keep this going. I feel like we need women like you who are willing to step in front of the camera, say, "Hey, I'm 54. This is what this is," and embrace that, but show us that you can still have style. You can have confidence. You can still wear your makeup exactly how you want to.
All my black eyeliner, it's not going anywhere.
And you know what? You can be a good person too, right? Like I love
Yeah.
it.
Thank you. Yeah.
You don't have to be old, you don't have to be crabby, you don't have to look like a
No,
grandma,
and
like
and you also don't have to be chasing youth anymore either. I recently
Yeah,
posted about I look 54 because I am
yep,
54, and there's
yep,
nothing wrong with that.
yeah.
If you said 64, I might have a problem, but if I look my age, I should look my age because I
We're
am
not
that age.
20. We're not 20. You're
Yeah,
not
yeah.
in competition with your daughters to be 20.
No,
You're their mom.
absolutely not.
You still look fabulous.
Thank you.
And I think fabulous and 50, like, That's goals.
It is. And just to be relaxed and not in competition with anyone but myself is even better. That's what this age brings, and I love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. What would be your takeaway from our episode for those who are watching? What would you want to leave for them?
If there's something that's itching at you that you've wanted to try and you're saying, time's up, I'm this age or I'm stuck in this job, that's not true. If you are motivated enough, you can do it. And if it is anything on camera, just turn the camera on. You just have to take that first step. And if
Hmm.
it is something that you're meant to do, it will happen. You just have to stick with it. Like I said, I didn't really earn any money for almost 2 years, any
Hmm.
significant money. And
Hmm.
then suddenly I'm earning more than I did at my last career and
Yeah.
having a great time.
Yep.
So just take that leap.
I love it. So take a
Mhm.
chance on yourself,
Yes.
get yourself in front of the camera,
That's
and
it.
just do it.
That's it. It's that simple.
It is that simple. I mean, that's the crazy part. We have
Yeah.
technology, we have access to editing. I mean, we can do crazy things nowadays with technology.
Yeah.
It's mind blowing because I remember learning on a DOS computer. My kids laugh at me. I learned how to type on a typewriter
Yes, it is.
in high school, and here we are.
I
So
know. And one other bit of advice,
yeah.
one thing I think that prevents anyone, women, young or old, from taking a chance on things are what will my friends and family think? And
Yeah.
that was in front of me as well. But fortunately, I just quieted that voice down and said, I don't care. I'm doing this for me. And that is a huge component to anything on camera. As you said, you get self conscious and
Mhm.
how do I look and what will they think? Or if I have too much confidence, what will they think? Who does she think she is? That kind of thing.
Right. You're right. Because
Do
we're
not let
women.
that get in your
Right.
way
Yeah.
because I almost did. And that's why I bring that up. I
It's
almost did.
important.
And it wasn't for strangers, it was for people I know. And that is a huge part of this, but don't let it get in your way. Call me, I'll give you some advice.
Follow Liz.
DM me, whatever it is. I'll talk you right out of it.
And I guess on the flip side of that, when you started to release stuff, how in actuality were those people with you?
Most were good.
Okay.
Some people will, a lot of times when you do something to better yourself in any way, it does something to other people
Okay. Nope. I can connect with
where
that for
they look
sure.
inward and it makes them uncomfortable. And for whatever reason, they'll try to bring you down. So I did experience some of that with family.
Yeah. No,
It
I
was hard.
think, yeah, no, and I appreciate you sharing that because I think that people won't choose themselves over that kind of stuff, and I'm
Right. That's
really
my point.
glad you chose yourself because
Yes.
you're doing really good stuff. You're not going out into the world, you're not hurting people, you're doing something to inspire, and I'm gonna say this, the therapist part of me is saying this,
I
even
know
though
I'm
I'm not
enjoying this
giving
because
mental
you're
health
articulating
advice,
everything so much better
but
than I could.
no, you're doing fantastic. When people give you a hard time about something that you're doing to better your life, you're not, again, hurting people, you're not doing anything negative, you're doing something positive, they project their insecurities
That's what I
and
was
they
trying
make
to say exactly.
their problems your problems. And it wasn't you, it was them.
No.
And sadly, those are always going to exist. I remember sharing with somebody that I was doing this in my own life, and they were like, well, you're going to get comments. And I'm like, oh, here we go.
Yep.
I'm aware I'm going to get comments. I mean, even as a
Oh, yeah,
therapist, sometimes people are like, this isn't a good fit. Okay. It's not me. It's not personal. I'm not a good fit for them, and that's okay. This isn't going to be for maybe everybody, but there's a lot of people it's going to be for,
for
meaning
sure.
what you do.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, I've gotten comments from women, like I mentioned earlier, how I've helped them. And I'd rather focus on that than
Yeah.
someone kind of making fun of me or whatever it was in my life for turning the camera on and doing this. And the more positive reinforcement you get, and you will get that as you
Hmm.
continue,
Hmm.
it outshadows all of the negativity and you don't think about it anymore. I mean, I went from being kind of afraid to turn the camera on to showing myself in bikinis on camera for 23,000 people, and I have, I think, 5 million views on my channel. So
Wow.
that's think
Yay. I
about all the
love
people,
that.
yeah,
I love that.
and I don't even think about it anymore.
And you know what? You look fabulous. I just want to put that out there.
Thank you.
You look amazing. I think you look
Thank you.
happy. You're doing good things.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
You're welcome. Well, it has been wonderful having you on today. I have really enjoyed hearing your story, your journey, and definitely will be continuing to follow you. I will make sure that your links are in the podcast description because I want people
Yeah.
also to be able to follow you and find you. And keep doing what you're doing and keep putting that positivity out there in the world. And I love that there is not an age that we are conforming to.
Not at all. There's no limit to this.
This is the Unapologetic Midlife.
That's right. Perfect fit for this show. I love it. Thank you for
It
having
is.
me,
It is.
honestly.
Thank you. Thank you. No, this has been great. Awesome.
Yeah.
All right. We'll talk soon.
Okay, take care.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for joining me for today's conversation on the Unapologetic Midlife Podcast. If this episode spoke to you, please take a moment to subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It helps others find this space of honesty, hope, and reinvention. The Unapologetic Midlife Podcast is for educational and informational purposes only and is not intended as medical, mental health, or professional advice. Listening to this podcast does not create a therapeutic relationship with Mindi Lobuzzetta, LMHC. Always consult with a qualified healthcare or mental health professional regarding your individual needs. If you are experiencing a crisis, call 911 or dial 988 for the Suicide Crisis Lifeline. Hope to see you soon.